expect to go first. Hi guys, my name's Brianne and this is Scott Ernest, and we've been doing this business for about 4.5 years. We're from here in Kansas City, and when I first got started in the business, I was a stay-at-home mom. But before I started doing that, I did retail while I was going to school. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever worked in the retail world, but it's hard and it's grueling. And I knew that, well, I just had this anxiety that any day he was gonna come home and say, like, it's time to go back to work. Like, that's what I lost sleep over. It was in my heart to be at home with my kids. So when I found this business, it was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna pay me. Well, I just thought they were gonna pay me $500 one time, and I was gonna go like buy fun things. But once I realized they were gonna pay me $500 again and again and again, I couldn't stop, you guys. I was so excited to get out there and make sure that I was gonna stay home with my babies until they went to kindergarten. And it's a big deal because our youngest just started kindergarten this year. And so now I get to be home beyond kindergarten, and I still get to be at all the dance recitals and the baseball practices, and I don't have to call anybody and take off work. It's one of the most amazing things that could have ever happened for us, and we get to be a stay-at-home family, and we get to be at all of those events together.
I think a lot of what you said was pretty spot on, but I was in mortgages for about 4 years before this. I look at this income chart here, and it's kind of crazy. I think a lot of people look at that ambassador number and they think it's impossible, but we're all human beings. We bleed like you, and all these people have worked so hard to get to where they are, and it's impressive. And I employ her for being so amazing and doing this. But I'm not a very good public speaker, but I get a little emotional. But the biggest thing for me is getting to drop my kids off at school every day and pick them up. So.
Not good for an emotional person to hand off to an emotional. I started with It Works 2012, and honestly, I just wanted the product. I had no intention on building a business, and I got to give credit where credit is due. Carrie Crossley, who's up here earlier, sponsored my sponsor, and my sponsor sponsored me, obviously, and changed my life so much. I was a legal assistant, a full-time grad student, had 2 kids, 1 in diapers. When you catch the vision, nothing can stop you. And so you have to not only catch the vision, but believe in yourself. And so once I saw that this business could not only change our life financially, but with my son, he was 10 years old when I started. I missed everything, you guys. And now because of this business, my daughter has no clue what it's like to not have mom at home. She has no clue what it's like to not have me at every party, every field trip. And my son is 15 now, but darn it, I'm going to Orlando with him for his orchestra trip because I can. Okay, so figure out what's gonna pull you. You have choices. Whether you succeed or fail with this business, that's on you. It's not on anybody else. So grab this by the hands and just go. Put your heads down and just go. You can do it.
My name is Lindsay Chadwick, and I'm an ambassador diamond. I'm from Kansas City. All right, walk me through this. Okay. I started about 5 years ago, and I still don't like talking on stage. So if you are a yellow personality or you're quiet, you can do this business. I promise you. You'll just stand up here and shake for the rest of your life, but it's okay. So my sister, who is right back here, who is very outgoing, loud, and super fun, was like, do this business. And I'm over here like, no, that's not for me. It's, for really loud people. I'm sorry. She's awesome. She's really fun. And so I just want to tell you this. I was working at a senior facility, and I really did enjoy my job, you guys. I really did love working with old people. I still love old people. I love them all day long. But here's the thing. I loved my kids more, and I wanted to be home with them. I think just
I knew I was meant to be a mother, and I want 10 more kids someday. So I have to keep working really hard for that. Okay, where was I going to go? Okay, so here's my thing. When she approached me, like opposite personalities, right? I can tell you I probably had a list of 50 different fears, like running through my head, right? Sometimes our mind can be our worst enemy. And so at some point I had to decide to be a fear chaser. I had to go after it instead of run from it, right? And so you are going to have to do that through this entire business. I'm still doing that 5 years later. So you have to wake up every single day and you have to get your mind right and decide that you're going to chase fear. You're not going to run from it. So I wish you all the luck. You can be up here. You just got to chase those fears, guys. All right. Well, I don't feel like I'm that loud, but according to her, maybe I am. I'm Liz Barton. This is my husband. You want to say hi? Sure. Okay. This is my husband, Gabe, and we are from Kansas City, of course. I was a Liberty School District teacher. I taught kindergarten, first, third. I went through the whole thing, basically. I was an instructional coach my last year. I took a year off because I wanted to go into children's ministry. I wanted to be a children's ministry director. I felt like that's where God was calling me and leading me to go. But financially, it was really hard. Children's ministry directors don't get paid a lot of money. And they had a good job, but we were living to the ends of that, right? And we were feeling like, man, something's got to change. And I remember in July, I had messaged Lori Conway about the wrap and was scared and didn't do it. So we made the decision that I needed to go back to teaching. We couldn't handle what we were doing, our circumstances, our finances. And so I went back to school that August. And started teaching again, and you know, I do love teaching. Like everyone said, they love their job. I love my job. You don't know you don't love it until you have the freedom that we have now, right? So I got started. Finally, I said yes in January of that year, and then decided in May that it would have been the following year in May that I was done. Gabe actually got to leave his job first, and so he was home teaching. But it was a beautiful thing. We have two beautiful boys, and they were little babies at the time. 5 years ago, it's so crazy, and now they're both in school. And our days look really different. It is literally like a date every day. You know, like, okay, what are we gonna do today? What do you want for breakfast? Where do you want to go? Like, it is fun. We are having so much fun sharing this crazy rap thing together, traveling together, you know, finding a team that's not only here, but traveling like all over the place. My goal is to travel internationally. Can we talk about goals? I'm going over my 2 minutes. Like, I want to travel internationally and like do this whole crazy rap thing. Okay, I'm done.
I'm going to do an aha moment real quick. Quentin and I have been talking about this a little bit. Kristen and I talked about this on the way over here. We have 5 and 7-year-old boys. There's going to come a time here pretty quickly when they hit 12, 13 years old that they're not going to want anything to do with us, and you guys know that happens. It's just life. But the greatest thing about this business for me has been, coming up here in May will be 4 years. 4 years of the youngest years of their lives that have the most impact on them. And I have been able to be there for every single thing and see every single thing along the way. And that's because she said, yes, finally, thank you, Lori, to Lori. So it's incredible to be able to say I was there to watch my kids grow through those years where they actually want to be with me.
Hey you guys, my name's Melissa Yardley. I'm an ambassador diamond from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, booming metropolis there. We actually have 3 ambassadors in a city of, 150,000 people. I was a social worker when I joined It Works, and I had the American dream, which meant student loan debt, credit card debt, car payments, like 30 grand a year for daycare, right? Like, you guys can relate to that. But I wanted something more, and I was afraid because I didn't know if I was qualified to do anything else other than social work. But I ran with it. I was having fun, and I was excited, and it almost became like an addiction where, like Mike said earlier, you're on your phone and you're sharing these products and what they're doing for you and what the opportunity is doing, and it's almost a little out of body experience, right? And just, I guess, what I want you guys to be able to take away is you see people on stage or on social media, and there's a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of investment that goes into an ambassador diamond, a presidential diamond, a diamond, a double diamond, whatever it is. But what I want to ask you guys is to commit to your why. If you're not doing a Facebook Live video right now, pull out your phone right now and find a picture of your why. Whether it's your family, maybe it's your bank account, or whatever it is. And I want to ask you, are you going to look back and go, wow, I got a really good night's sleep that one time in 2017? Is that going to be as important as that picture of what's on your phone and your why and what's motivating you? My kids are my why. Being home with them, being mom, being able to go to my dentist appointment and hold my son's hand yesterday when he got his first cavity, which was awful, but I got to be there for it. Every single one of those moments are worth it. So get a jump start on your business. Hold your why at the forefront of why you're doing this. Know that there are going to be some bumps in the road, but it's going to make the victory that much sweeter. So I am cheering all of you guys on.
Hey everybody, I'm Alicia Peck. I'm from a very, very small town south of St. Louis. I've been in the business for almost 6 years. And when I got started, I was an esthetician. We were struggling to make ends meet, and I wasn't a single mom, but I might as well have been. My husband worked out of town. He was gone for a week, 2 weeks at a time. And originally we just started to make an extra $300 to $500 a month. And we had a little baby, and I was by myself. And he grew up, or she grew up, knowing her daddy through FaceTime. And then we had a second son, and he was growing up, and my babies were telling their dad goodnight through FaceTime. He was getting kisses goodnight through FaceTime. We were growing up, and they were growing up without their dad. So the $300 to $500 quickly turned into bringing him home. So last year, it's been a little over a year, he's come home with us. My babies don't have, our 3 babies now. Somehow, whenever you bring your husband home, you get a third. So all 3 babies get to get their daddy kisses goodnight every night. We don't have to rely on FaceTime to do that. So it's just been a complete blessing. And guys, in the 6 years that I've been in this business, 6 years, I have not, 2017 is it. I'm here to tell you it is it. I feel it, the excitement, the momentum that we have going. This year is it. I haven't felt it since 2011. So whatever you got right now, run with it and work so hard, because I'm telling you, this year is going to change your life if you let it.
I'm in Kansas City. My name is Mackenzie Schultz. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'm gonna get really real with you guys. So I joined almost 4 years ago. Was not looking to do anything else. I was a busy person, and I want to tell you, busy people get things done. So you should be searching out, finding those busy people. They know how to time manage, and they know how to work and get it done. So I was busy. We owned 2 traditional businesses. So I owned a photography studio, and then my husband and I own a restaurant. And we were we were living our dream, I should say. That's what we always envisioned to be doing forever. We loved it. It was our passion. But passion doesn't always equal money. And we were struggling financially. You guys ever had money problems? We had a lot of money problems, and we hid it really well. Everybody thought, from the outside looking in, gosh, they have everything. They are so lucky to be business owners. Man, everything else comes before your own paycheck when you own a traditional business. And we found that out the hard way. So many things come first, and it got really scary for us. We realized we had nothing saved for our boys. We realized that everything that we had to spend it on something, right? It had to go out right away, and then there was nothing left over. And it was scary some months to think, how are we ever going to get out of this? We're working so hard. What are we doing wrong? We're working as much as we can. We are pouring into this. We love what we do, but there has to be something else out there. And this business fell in my lap, and I didn't want to do it. I had no interest. But something told me, just do it. And I signed up for $99, and that $99 changed my life forever, you guys. And instead of having money problems, I'll tell you what, money problems never go away, but what happens is it changes from what you have to spend it on to what you get to spend it on. You get to make choices and you have options. Where do I want to go this year? Where do I take my family? Where do I want to invest that money in? And it changes every aspect of your life. And it's going to take work. I'm not going to stand here and tell you it's easy. It's simple. It's not easy. It's simple. We have our steps to success that you just do over and over and over and over. So you got to do the simple every day. And someone once told me that your mess becomes your message. I had a mess when I joined, and I was embarrassed by that mess. I didn't tell a lot of people what we had gotten a letter in the mail that we were behind on our mortgage and we were going to go into foreclosure on April 2nd of 2013. Guess what day I joined this business? April 2nd of 2013. I sold everything I could think of on Craigslist to pay off all that money we owed on our house, and then this came on that same day that I paid that off. So if you're in a mess right now, you guys, you can get out of it. I promise you can. So take your mess and figure out how you're going to make it your message, okay? Every one of you has a story in this room, no matter what rank you are. Share that with people and help them, because that's what's going to take you to the top, is going with other people.
Hey, we are Brooke and Jake Tomatich from Nashville, Tennessee. I was a hairstylist, he was a financial advisor. That, really secure corporate job, financial advisor at a bank. He got laid off with no warning. I got put on bed rest. So they went all of our money. So I joined this business just to make $300 a month. That would have completely saved us with diapers and formula. Well, I'm gonna get really real with y'all. And I want y'all to be real with me. Be vulnerable. Raise your hand if you've ever been disappointed because you did not promote when you really wanted to. Y'all, that's a lot of people in the room. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. It took me over almost 7 months to go Ruby, a little over a year to go Diamond, and a little over 2 years to go Double Diamond. Okay, it took me 3 years to become a millionaire. Do you think I care that it took me a year to go Diamond? No! So stop the pity party. Stop putting yourself in this little box that if you haven't hit it, you're done and you're not for this business. God put you on this earth to do something that nobody else can do. You're in this room, so he's brought you here. This is your vehicle to get stuff done. Do it!
I'm going to steal a line from Quentin. We went to a men's retreat a couple years ago. And Quentin, his recurring message was protect the fort. We were able to buy our dream home this year, and what this opportunity allowed us to do is to protect our fort. We all have problems. We all have struggles. We all fight every single day for our kids, for everything. We all have our own issues, health, whatever it is. This job allows us to protect your fort. Our fort is protected because of this, because of her and her tenacity with this. And for the husbands in the room, stand behind your wife, girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is. It's worth it, I promise you. It'll change your life. We love you.
Hey guys, I am Jeremiah. We are Jeremiah and Ashley Renal, and I was a Facebook stalker for 3 years. 3 years I never liked or commented on a single thing. I was a hater. I didn't believe it. I was a cardiac nurse, and then we ended up moving from Florida back to Missouri to be home with my family whenever we had a baby. And after we had our second child, I was a night shift labor and delivery nurse, and I was spending more time with everybody else's kids than I was my own. You guys, I had a dream job. I got to be that person that was there for truly love at first sight when you see your baby for the first time. But I wasn't seeing my own kids. My husband was being a single dad, tucking our kids in, kissing them, doing bath time, doing all of that stuff, and I wasn't there. So I would say one of my biggest aha moments actually kind of came to me today, that 2 weeks from today will be my 3-year anniversary in the business. And 3 years ago, I came to a one-team mission in Kansas City at the Ameristar. Mike Patella was here. I was a brand new Ruby. That month, after being at that one-team mission and getting my cup filled up and realizing that I was no different than anybody else that was on that stage. I went diamond. The next month I went double. The next month I went triple. So you guys, if you're sitting here as a brand new distributor, you could go diamond this month. You can go ambassador by the end of the year. You have to decide that you're worthy of it.
As Ashley said, I'm Jim. We're pretty confident in Missouri too. One thing, basically every day in almost every situation in life, you're given a choice whether or not to say yes or no. Put down the no's to the things that aren't going to make you better as a person towards your business, and say yes to the things that are. Obviously, every one of you guys are here tonight because you said yes. You said yes to starting the business, or maybe you're, if you're not in the business and you're thinking about it, you're saying just say yes, make it happen. Do whatever it takes to make it happen. Conference coming up, get there. That's what woke my eyes up. We were in the business for almost a year at our first conference, and we went in as a triple diamond. But I still never caught the vision until I stepped foot in those doors, and it just blew me away. So anytime you have the opportunity to better yourself or your business, say yes.
All right, Lori Conway here. This is Quentin. Okay, so I joined the business 5.5 years ago, and I gotta give mad props to my sponsor sitting out here, Liz Thomas. She came to my house when we had itty bitty babies, right? I was a stay-at-home mom of 4, so my kids 5 years ago were really, really little. I joined this business when I had 4 kiddos, all under the age, well, they were 5 and under. And I felt like I had my own little basketball team, but it was like a daycare basketball team, right? And so Liz used to come over, we used to order Jimmy John's, and we used to just hang out with our kiddos, and she said to me that she was gonna try a wrap that was gonna tighten, tone, and firm, and something about having cactus needles or something in it, which I think she meant the Fat Fighter, but we didn't know what we were talking about, but I was like, no way! I wanna try that, and you better let me know when you get kitten. And she did, and guess what? Before I even tried the wrap on, I fell in love with that. Because as a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids, I looked at, I could fix this. I could also get my nails done. I could also get my nails done because I married this guy that's super cheap. And money went into the bank because he's a banker. It didn't come out. So I had to sell things on Craigslist if I wanted to do anything with my kids or do anything for myself. So I got into this business for $200 a month. That's all I wanted. $200 a month. And I jumped in with both feet, ignorance on fire, and I was excited, and I wanted to wrap each and every person I came in contact with, and I did. I made a lot of wrap cash, and I crushed my goal in 10 days. 10 days, and then my eyes opened, and I thought, this is more than just nail money. This is gonna be an opportunity. In some fashion, it's gonna change my life. I didn't know to this degree, right? But the aha moment for me tonight is sitting here and thinking to myself, because Liz said yes to this opportunity, even though she didn't know what she was talking about, she was excited. She was excited, and she was excited these wraps had cactus in them, and then, but I was excited too, and I thought, I don't care if they have needles or whatever in them, and if it hurts, and if I look good, I'm gonna feel good, and I'm gonna help other people feel good, and I'm gonna be a mama that can afford to pay a babysitter and go get my nails done. So I wanted to do. So thank you very much for sharing this opportunity. And I will say this, you are a fool not to share this opportunity. Stand proud, stand with your shoulders back, stand with your head held high. Do not be embarrassed about the opportunity that you have, because it is changing so many lives, not only in the Kansas City area, but everywhere around this world. And so I'm so grateful for that. And my aha moment for that is, I got in for selfish reasons. I'm staying in for selfless reasons because y'all, when you focus on other people, not yourself, your selfish desires automatically come true. So, go help someone.
Thanks for sitting up here with me. Right, so this is going to be a little bit different. I've committed to a new trend when I get up and speak in front of people to ask the Spirit exactly what He wants me to say and how to say it so it's delivered correctly. And I had in my mind what I was going to say and how I wanted to say it, and then I heard 2 or 3 people, Gabe got up here, and Scott got up here, and Alicia got up here and said very similar things. I'm like, well, clearly I'm not supposed to say that. It's been said multiple times, and God's like, no, buddy. When I send the same message through multiple people, it's because multiple people are meant to deliver it and hear it. So I want you to know this. This is a moment of transparency that's a little bit awkward, but I want you to take it in the right context. A few weeks ago, I guess it was a few weeks ago now, we had one of those moments where we had a string of bad days, like 4 or 5 days, where we had messaged literally hundreds of people. I'm not even joking. Hundreds of people, and had hundreds of no's, and people that were mean to you. I mean, just outright nasty things that were being said, in our business, and it was crazy. And Lori you were emotional. And she was upset, and she was having a moment. You all have moments, ladies, so I just want to talk to you for a moment. It was one of those moments. It was one of those moments, man, and it was rough, right? And so she's like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. That's what you said. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Multi-million-dollar earner said, I don't know that I can do this anymore. And so I waited, because emotions are high, and I don't always know the right thing to say when emotions are high. This wasn't exactly a friendly conversation. And so I waited a few moments, and I went back into her, and I grabbed her by the shoulders. I know you know what I'm talking about. And I looked her in the eye and said, listen, I just want you to forget everything for a second. I want you to hear me. And I want you to hear me here, not right here. I've been home for 5 years. 5 years of my life. I've got to be in this house with my kids. I do a lot of things wrong in life, and I had a crappy dad. And I committed to myself, I will never repeat that. If there's anything in this world I want to be good at, it's being a good dad. And I've got to be 5 years. I have 2 kids. I have 2 kids that have never known anything but a dad at home. Are you kidding me? You don't for a second get to feel defeated, Lori. You don't for a second get to feel like you can't do this. Because our kids have gotten such a special gift. I have gotten such a special gift because of everything that you've done. Everything that you continue to do. My kids have a full-time dad. I don't miss anything, ever. And I shared that with Gabe, and I appreciate you sharing that too, Gabe. So ladies, you're going to have those moments where it just gets kicked right in the face. Right? People are mean to you because people are unhappy. And that happens. I'm sorry. And I want you to know you have so much pressure on you in this business. And that's cool because some of you thrive with that pressure, Mackenzie. Like those busy people, you thrive for it. But sometimes it beats you up. And sometimes it tears you down. And I want you to hear me say, thank you. Thank you for your men. Thank you for your children. Thank you for the example you set to your friends, for your family, all those people who doubted you, who don't believe you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be at home and be the father that my dad never was, be the friend that I never got to be before. There's absolutely no way on earth you ever get to doubt what you're doing, why you're doing it, or the level of success that you've had. If you brought a man home, I can guarantee you 100%, he loves you and appreciates you more than he can express it. And for the rest of you, I want the light, I want the beacon of light to be for you. Maybe not every man's desire is to be at home. Mine wasn't, because I didn't know better. It can happen. It can happen for you. It's happened for dozens of people sitting up here, and it changes lives, it changes families. And when it changes families, it changes communities. And when communities change, we change cities, we change the world. Don't let anybody tell you you've got to quit. Perspective is what this looks like. I feel like 2017 is all about perspective. And I just wanted to share perspective. Perspective is, I got to spend 5 years. If everything stopped tomorrow, 5 years at home with my kids. Can't beat that.
Everybody's going to be beat up, and anything that you do, you'll feel beat up. Anything that you choose in life, you're going to have struggles. It's just going to happen. So those days that you feel beat up, you find somebody to encourage you.
Because you're gonna have those bad days. I have those bad days. I still have those bad days. But you know what? I might quit for a couple hours. I might quit and go to bed. But I wake up the next day refreshed because I have surrounded myself with great influence that are gonna speak life into me and give me the attaboys that I need to go on. So don't ever be afraid to reach out and ask for encouragement, to ask for help. And make sure you're aware of the influence that you're putting in your life.
I get to stand up here and hear those stories, and I know most all of the presidentials and ambassadors personally, and they're friends of ours, and I think about, the seeds that were planted. I take absolutely zero credit for the success from Lori introducing to Liz and everything that happened from Kansas City and Iowa and all that, but I look back, and a lot of times we think this business is about family, and it's just interesting how